Hello, Boston fans. I don't know that anybody else is going to watch this video, so we'll see. I'll put a fun thumbnail on it, because why not? This was as stress-free as a game gets, unless you're a Kings fan, although they'd won a bunch of games coming into this one, so is this really a huge stressor, or it's kind of a throwaway, right? So, I was quick versus Swayman. LA had outshot their opposition in 20 straight games. That came to an end tonight. Boston did outshoot the LA Kings in this one, so that's a record that apparently was third in the time that they've kept shot totals in a game. And it's 1 minute in, Boston opens the scoring. It's DeBrusk from Marchand and Bergeron at 101, and I thought that's not a great goal for Quick. He should save that. So I thought, well, that's lucky for Boston. They get spotted the 1-0 lead. The Kings are playing really well. They've won 5 in a row. They could come back here. Kings did try to answer. Coyle then scores, but they waved it off for Coyle gloving the puck in the net. So if he had touched that with his stick, the score would have been more lopsided. Bjorn Foot with a net drive is saved. The shots are 4-3 for the Bruins at 7.5 minutes. And again, it's only 1-0. It's only 1-0 at this point. Pastrnak has a blast that's saved. Kopitar has a rush chance that's held. Arvidsson has a chance. Coyle defends on that. Coyle had a really good game. Marchand has a net drive that's saved. And then Kempe has a rush chance that's saved too. So there's a lot of good back and forth going on. Then there's a turnover, and it ends up in the Kings' net. And Quick almost catches it. Almost. DeBrusk with his second goal of the period at 13:37. So the first goal looks a little leaky. The second goal, maybe there's a little bit of luck there. So again, you look at this and you say, all right, so Boston's up 2-0, but it's the Kings. And I've watched them for the last little while, and the Kings have been very good at comebacks. So Bruins controlling most of the play to this point. We then had a fight between Frederic and Lemieux. Frederic got some shots in there. At this point, Jack Edwards is just completely over the moon. He doesn't try to hide his giddiness when Boston's having a good game. Riley has a shot that's kicked aside. Foligno and Froden were denied as the Bruins press. That can get lost in everything else that goes on in these games. This is why I like to do these reviews, because there's a lot of stuff that if you're watching the review shows or highlight packages, they're not going to get into the fact that Foligno and Froden were denied. There was the gloved in puck by Coyle. This could have been much worse. 1:44 left. The Bruins get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded chance for Kempe, and Swayman saves there. Jeremy Swayman is really starting to come into his own. So Boston's up 2-0 after the first period. They did outshoot LA in that period. Second period, Kings finish the kill. Quick saves then on Marchand. DeBrusk scores, but it's reviewed to see whether or not it's a high stick. It was close. This was very close. Because it was called a goal on the ice, I don't think there was enough there to overturn it, but it was close. DeBrusk scores from Bergeron and McAvoy at 53 seconds, and this is where the LA crowd starts to turn. This is right around where Jack Edwards just starts making fun of the name of the building being Crypto.com, which I've personally talked about how I'm not a fan of the name of the building either. So, yeah, it counts, and there were some hats on the ice. There was one kid in the crowd, though, that had a Bruins hat that clearly had signatures all over it. Did not throw his hat on the ice. Smart kid. Kings try to answer. They draw a power play. In fact, they get 1 minute and 22 seconds of 5-on-3. So, the one thing is that Jack mentions that the Kings are one of, I think he said, 10 teams that have not this season had a 5-on-3 goal, which Brick rightfully said, don't say that, because, it's a 5-on-3. But McAvoy clears it out. It becomes a 5-on-4. And honestly, during the 5-on-3, the Bruins did a very, very good job of keeping him to the outside and clearing. Everything gets killed off. Really solid penalty kill. And those are the only 2 power plays LA had on the night. Lemieux then has a chance that's saved and held. Smith to Coyle won't go, so they're still getting opportunities. The Bruins press at 9 minutes. Swayman denies Kopitar. Bruins get a power play, and they score on it, which has been a problem for them lately. Their power play has been an issue. Tonight it was very good. Bergeron from Pastrnak and Marchand at 11:40. So that makes it 4-0, and it was scored right away. I think it was like 4 seconds into the power play, something ridiculous. It wasn't very long. And then at 12:42, Hall Scores from Pasternak on what was a bad line change by the Kings. At the very least, it was a poorly timed line change, which gives Pasternak a chance to throw it to Hall, and Hall scores. So Peterson is in at this point. Again, the first goal, maybe Quick can save it, but what we're looking at here tonight was a total breakdown of the Kings team. Now, Todd McClellan was not behind the bench tonight because he's in COVID protocols. He wasn't feeling well, so they only test you now if you have symptoms, and he had symptoms, so he's not behind the bench. But you could see that this just wasn't the same Kings team, and I don't know if it's not related to, or if it is related to, the fact the regular coach wasn't behind the bench. But you could see at this point that the Kings are choked, and I get it. There are some teams that'll kind of let up. They get a big lead and they'll let up. Boston, I mean, by the third they did, but they didn't really hear, Hall with that goal. So things get kind of scrummy. The Kings were frustrated. I was a bit surprised in the third we didn't see a fight or two, because you could see the Kings were choked. Coyle has a net drive that won't go. Pasternak's denied. Peterson holds there. And in the last shift, Swayman denies Roy. So it's 5-0 Boston after 2 periods. We go to the third. Early press by the Kings. Howland nearly buries one during a 3-on-1. Bruins were defending well through 5 minutes. They defended well through most of it. Lizotte has a chance that's saved and held. The shots are 3-1 for the Kings at 7 minutes. I don't know how many of them were dangerous. Marchand's denied on a break. The Bruins come out of it with a power play and they score on it. And it's Howla getting the goal from Coyle and Smith. Nice 3-way pass there. But again, it shows that like that box you want on your penalty kill just wasn't working for the Kings. So that's 100 goals in the career of Howla. I think they said for Coyle it's his 200th assist, and for Smith it was his 300th assist. So again, the giddy Jack Edwards joking about how they might have to saw the puck in three ways. Who would get the puck? And I'm thinking the guy that scores the goal gets the puck. That's kind of how that works. That would be more important than the assists, or it's a puck. I don't know. Just grab 2 other pucks from a bucket and just, mix them around so they don't know which one's the real game puck. And here, you can all think you have the game puck. And that was with 1 second left in the power play. So it almost didn't count as a power play goal. That's where the Let's Go Bruins chants start in Los Angeles. I didn't see a lot of Bruins jerseys there. There were some. I didn't see a ton. Kings press with 8.5 minutes left. They had a 2-on-1. Carlo breaks that up. And then at 13:39, it's Howla. He scores from Hall and DeBrusk. So that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's your 7th goal. Howla, he almost had the hat trick too. We saw Chicago do that on the weekend with Hagel and Kane, and I thought, well, maybe. But it was a really nice pass by Hall to set up Howla. And the Kings then press. Arvidsson can't bury one. Arvidsson had some opportunities. Swayman played very well. And that can get lost in a game like this, is how well the goaltender plays at the other end of the ice. Howla has his hat trick try. That deflects out. Swayman was all smiles on a glove save. Not only that, there's like a little detail there I noticed where he came out to play the puck, and then he played like a defenseman for like about a 5-10 second period there. And what that told me was Swayman's confidence is starting to get pretty darn high. And it's interesting because it's, a month ago that he was, sent down to the minors, and, it's going to be Rask and Ullmark. I really think this has benefited the Bruins to go through that, because since Swayman came back up, he's been fantastic. DeBrusk's denied his 4th of the night before it's over, but it was over. It was over in the second. Final score 7-0, so the Cobra Kai magnet gets used for a second time tonight. I just pulled it off that board and put it on this one. So to all the Bruins fans watching, they're now 32-17-4. The Kings dropped to 29-18-7. I don't think anybody who's not a Bruins fan is going to watch this. I'm expecting like 500 views for this review. Shots are 12-9 Boston in the first, 12-11 LA in the second, 13-9 LA in the third. They did outshoot Boston 34-32. Power plays Boston 2 for 3, LA 0 for 2. When the score's 7-0, I can't pretend that was the turning point. Hits are 32-29 for Boston. Swayman saves all 34 for the 5th shutout of his career and the 3rd shutout this season. So again, I feel spoiled right now in that I have 3 teams I cheer for. Vancouver has Demko, Boston has Swayman, and Dallas has Ottinger. I'm a happy camper. And in Ottinger's case, as well as in Swayman's case, both of them have been in the minors this year for a short period for veteran goaltenders, and then brought right back up and have played very well. Quick saves 14 out of 19. Peterson saves 10 out of 12. Again, if you're a Kings fan and you've made it this far, kudos. I don't know if I was a Canuck fan and there was a hockey channel I followed on YouTube and they lost 7-0, I don't know if I'm watching a review of the game. I think I would have had enough and I'm going to bed. But yeah, I mean, is it how much do you look at this and say it's just a one-off, and how much do you look at this and say there's some stuff from this game that might be alarming, whether it's the defense or just, I don't know. You know, it's one of those things that it may very well just be a one-off. They bounce back tomorrow and they're just fine. For Boston now, they move on. Tomorrow they play in Anaheim. Ullmark's going to be in net for that one. So Swayman's definitely the starter right now. And at the end, the question was asked by Jack Edwards as well about whether or not Swayman's getting into the conversation for the Calder. I think we have an excellent rookie class. I don't know that Swayman gets very many votes for the Calder, but he's definitely making it so he should be the best goaltender this year among the rookies. And yeah, kudos to him for that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Bruins fans, I don't see any reason anybody else is going to watch this. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you to the, all right, maybe 300 people watched this video. Thank you to the 300 people who watched this. Thank you guys so much for all your support and for staying up late to watch this. I will talk to you again soon.